Back here with the 2001 Monte Carlo, little update on P0440. I had this issue for about 3 weeks now, and I've been doing little tests. I've taken the gas tank out. You check my previous videos. And my system is not one of those complex systems. Everything is actually, right there in your face, real simple. You have a per solenoid, which is this piece right here. You have the charcoal canister, which sits in the back by the gas tank. You have a vent solenoid that sits back by the gas tank. You have your FTP, which is your fuel tank pressure sensor, which mine sits on the fuel pump that sits in the gas tank. And that's about it. And you have your PCM, ECU, and your BCM. All these computers, they manage the system basically. When you get P0440, basically your car has failed a pressure test. As your car reaches certain factory spec or manufacturer spec, as far as the conditions are met, a certain test then is commanded by your computer for your EVAP system. And I'm not trying to sound boring or anything, but I had to read about this and learn about it, so I thought I'd just share about it as far as why I have P0440. Okay, we have a gas tank, we have a fuel pump, we have the fuel tank pressure sensor connected to the fuel pump, we have a vent solenoid in the back also, we have a charcoal canister for the fumes to be released from the fuel tank, we have a sealed gas cap, and then we have a per solenoid up front. That's the whole system right there for my car. Now think about this. I have a per solenoid up front, which would be right here where these two inlets are. The per solenoid would be commanded by the PCM to activate or turn on or purge. And as it's purging, it's sucking fumes out of the charcoal canister. These fumes were stored from the gas tank itself. As you drive and as fuel sits in your gas tank, it actually evaporates. And remember, as your fuel pump is running, it's also creating heat. So it is also creating warmth, and you get fumes that evaporates, and it needs to go to the charcoal canister. That's why it's designed. Now, your charcoal canister has a vent valve that's connected to it. That vent valve is used to allow fresh air into the charcoal canister. So as fumes are naturally pushed into the charcoal canister, because you have a sealed gas cap and the fumes need somewhere to go, you have a sealed gas cap now. The fumes need somewhere to go, so they're gonna, naturally get pushed into the charcoal canister. That charcoal canister has a nipple on it for the per solenoid tubing right here. It has a nipple on it that this tube is connected to, and the per solenoid is in between these two. And along with the compression of the engine, which creates a vacuum right here through the intake manifold, that vacuum then works with the per solenoid and sucks the fume out of that charcoal canister right here. Now, as that fume is being sucked out of the charcoal canister, fume is also being sucked out of the gas tank, and is being and fresh air is being pulled through the vent solenoid to the charcoal canister. So you get a mixture of everything. You get a mixture of fumes, and you get a mixture of fresh air, and it goes to the intake manifold and through the chamber and combustion and all that, and it burns off in the engine basically, because that's what they want us to do. And if your car doesn't do that, you fail a smog test in California or any other city that has it. Florida doesn't have it, but I don't like riding around with a check engine light, so I decided to take care of the problem. But nevertheless, your EVAP system does just that. It purges. As it purges, it sucks the fume out of the charcoal canister. As it sucks the fume out of the charcoal canister, is also sucking the fume out of the gas tank, and is sucking fresh air through the vent solenoid. Okay, now this is where your car meets all the requirements, all the specs, and that has to do with the engine temperature, coolant temperature, and air temperature, which is this little sensor right here. Air that is being sucked in through your air filter housing going into the engine is measured through the little sensor right here. It measures the temperature of that air, and along with the coolant temperature, which is down here. I don't think you can even see it at this angle. Let me see. It's right here. This is the temperature sensor, and it has a loom that runs right here, and then it's connected right here. So along with the temperature sensor and the air temperature sensor, when all the requirements are met with the specs of the manufacturer, the computer now tells the vent solenoid in the back to close. Now your purge solenoid is still purging, but your vent solenoid is now shut. So now you have a sealed gas cap, you have a sealed vent solenoid, and now you have a purge that's just sucking air out of the gas tank and the charcoal canister. Now as that purge is sucking the air out of the charcoal canister and the gas tank, that pressure that it's creating while it's sucking is measured by the FTP, the fuel tank pressure sensor. If that pressure is not measured up to manufacturer spec, you'll get a P0440. That means your car failed the pressure test. So with the gas cap on and sealed, your vent solenoid shut, the circuit is commanded to be shut, and only the purge is working. So now you only have purge on, vent solenoid have the vent solenoid closed, or in my case, it'll turn it on so it can seal the vent solenoid, and now I just have the purge sucking air out of the charcoal canister and sucking air out of the gas tank. And as it's doing that, the FTP again is testing the pressure that is creating from that suction. And if it fails that pressure, I get a P0440. Now the problem I'm having is my purge solenoid works, but for some reason it gets stuck closed sometimes, it gets stuck open sometimes, but it works. So I decided to change it for about almost 3 years now. I changed it almost 3 years ago. So this one is Delphi, and Delphi's a good brand. Don't get me wrong, Delphi's a very good brand. AC Delco. What else have I used? I think Delphi, AC Delco. I can't name the brands off the top of my head right now. I know Delphi, AC Delco, Autolite. Damn, I can't remember the names. There's a few brands out there that are actually good, and I've used them for different parts and pieces here and there. But for some reason, this purge solenoid just kept getting stuck open or closed, and it kept failing. So I changed it. Now the 2006, 2007, 2000, partially 2008, and I think this is what they continued on after that. The 2006 and 2007 Monte Carlos with the 5.3 SS V8, they use this purge solenoid, and it's a square. It's not, well, square, ovally, yeah, square, rectangular, one of the two, and it's completely different from this one, which is round, and the weight is also different. I don't know if they use different, well, obviously, because this one is lighter, This one is lighter, is a bit shorter than this one. This one's a little bit heavier, a little bulkier. But again, this one's round, this one's square. I decided to track this down, and this is what I'm going to use in my Monte Carlo. This is not designed for my Monte Carlo. This is designed for the 2006, 2007 Monte Carlos, Impalas, and certain Buicks that had the 5.3 V8 engine. And let me give you the number right here. You know I like to share. Gotta share. You have 12597567. That's the solenoid's number. Again, it's 12597567, and it's almost the same spec as far as the plug. I don't know if I can get autofocus to work. Let me come right here in the light. And that kind of made it worse. But I think I can see it just a little bit. But the socket is the same. The build is different. I'm assuming the quality is also going to be different. And after I tried 2 of these round ones and I have bad luck with those, I'm going to use this one to see if I get a better use out of this. But that's about it. This is a little quick update. Again, if you guys want to know more about the EVAP system, I suggest you look it up on YouTube. There's plenty of videos illustrating how this system works. I just gave you guys a quick definition of how my system works from what I've learned. And this is the new solenoid that I'll be using. Again, this is not designed for my application. If you go on AutoZone, O'Reilly, Advanced Auto Parts, CarQuest, if you go on any of those sites, you will not find this for your 2000 through 2005 Monte Carlos. You will find this round one right here. So I did a little digging. You know what I got? I just have to find something else that works, because I can't drive with the check engine light on. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. So this right here is the number 12597567, and this solenoid should fix my issue, and I'll give you guys an update in about 2 weeks.